John Cena lifts championship gold high above his head, but something feels different because this isn't the WWE Championship or the World Heavyweight Championship that everyone associates with his name. These are the forgotten titles, the tag team championships that nobody talks about when they discuss the greatest career in modern wrestling history, and the stories behind how Cena won these belts alongside some of the most unlikely partners will blow your mind. If you want to discover the hidden chapters of John Cena's championship legacy that even hardcore fans overlook, smash that subscribe button right now because we're diving deep into every single tag team title victory that the Cenation leader ever achieved. The story begins on a regular episode of Monday Night Raw in 2005 when John Cena is already carrying the WWE Championship on his shoulder and standing as the undisputed face of the entire company. The writers decide to do something completely unexpected by throwing Cena into a tag team match for the World Tag Team Championship, pairing him with none other than the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels. This isn't some random decision because both men are dealing with Kurt Angle, who has been causing problems for everyone on the Raw roster, and management sees an opportunity to create chaos by putting two of their biggest stars together against Angle and his partner Carlito. The announcement sends shockwaves through the wrestling world because tag team championships are supposed to be for actual tag teams who spend months building chemistry and working together week after week. Instead, WWE is taking two main event superstars who could headline any pay-per-view against each other and asking them to function as a cohesive unit against two other incredibly talented wrestlers. Shawn Michaels brings decades of experience to the partnership with his ability to read opponents and adjust his strategy mid-match, while John Cena brings that relentless aggressive style and superhuman strength that allows him to power through any situation. The match itself becomes an instant classic the moment the bell rings because you have four wrestlers operating at the absolute peak of their abilities. Kurt Angle uses his amateur wrestling background to take control early, shooting for takedowns and applying submission holds that would make most opponents tap out immediately. Carlito shows why he's one of the most underrated performers of that era with his smooth athleticism and surprising ring awareness. Shawn Michaels does what he always does by selling every move like he's been hit by a truck while simultaneously looking for that perfect moment to hit sweet chin music. John Cena absorbs punishment like a human punching bag before exploding with his signature moves that the crowd knows by heart. The action becomes more intense as the match progresses, with all four men taking turns beating each other senseless both inside and outside the ring. Bodies crash into steel steps and announcer tables as the referee loses complete control of the situation. Kurt Angle locks Cena in an ankle lock submission and wrenches back with everything he has, trying to snap Cena's leg in half and force him to quit. Cena crawls toward the ropes with the entire arena on their feet, reaching desperately for that bottom rope that represents salvation. Somehow he makes it and breaks the hold, rolling out of the ring to recover while Shawn Michaels takes over and battles both opponents simultaneously. Carlito catches Michaels with his backstabber finishing move and goes for the pin, but Cena dives into the ring at the last possible second to break up the count. The near fall gets the crowd roaring because everyone believes the match is about to end. Kurt Angle tags back in and immediately goes after Cena with a series of German suplexes that plant the WWE champion on the back of his head repeatedly. The crowd counts along with each suplex as Angle hits one, then two, then three consecutive German suplexes that would knock most people unconscious. Cena somehow survives and tags in Shawn Michaels, who comes in like a house on fire with flying forearms and an atomic drop. Michaels sets up for sweet chin music and the entire building knows what's coming next. He tunes up the band in the corner, stomping his foot on the mat while Carlito slowly gets to his feet in a daze. The superkick connects perfectly and Carlito drops like he's been shot, but before Michaels can make the cover, Kurt Angle rushes in to break it up. John Cena intercepts Angle and the two former world champions brawl to the outside of the ring, fighting all the way up the entrance ramp. Back in the ring, Shawn Michaels covers Carlito and the referee counts to 3, giving Cena and Michaels the World Tag Team Championship in a match that nobody will ever forget. The image of John Cena and Shawn Michaels standing together as tag team champions creates one of the most surreal moments in Raw history. Cena now holds two championships at the same time, with the WWE Championship belt over one shoulder and the World Tag Team Championship belt over the other. Michaels raises Cena's hand in victory, and for a brief moment, these two superstars who could easily be bitter rivals are celebrating together as partners. The locker room empties as other wrestlers come out to congratulate them because everyone understands they just witnessed something special. But the celebration doesn't last long because WWE has other plans for those championships. The very next night on Raw, Cena and Michaels are forced to defend their newly won titles against Kurt Angle and a mystery partner. The mystery partner turns out to be another main event level star, and the match that follows is just as chaotic as the previous night. This time, Cena and Michaels can't recapture the magic and they lose the World Tag Team Championship after holding it for exactly one day. The reign is so short that some fans forget it ever happened, but it remains part of John Cena's championship history and proves that even the biggest stars in wrestling can have their moments of tag team glory. For years pass and John Cena finds himself in another unexpected tag team situation during the summer of 2009. This time his partner is Batista, the animal who has been on a warpath through the WWE roster for months. Both men are dealing with Randy Orton and his legacy faction, which includes Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase Jr., and the ongoing war between these groups has consumed Monday Night Raw for weeks. WWE management decides to give Cena and Batista an opportunity to capture the World Tag Team Championship from Rhodes and DiBiase, hoping that giving these two powerhouses championship gold will help them combat the legacy faction. The build to the match is electric because everyone knows that Cena and Batista have faced each other in brutal battles for world championships over the years. They've beaten each other senseless in steel cages and last man standing matches, so the idea of them working together as a team seems almost impossible. But both men put their differences aside because they share a common enemy in Randy Orton and his group. The press conferences and interviews leading up to the match show Cena and Batista awkwardly trying to present themselves as a unified team while their history of violence against each other hangs in the air like a dark cloud. When match night arrives, the tension is thick enough to cut with a knife as Cena and Batista make their entrance together. Batista walks to the ring with his signature intensity and focus while Cena plays to the crowd with his usual energy and enthusiasm. Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase Jr. wait in the ring looking confident because they believe their youth and actual tag team experience will overcome the thrown-together team of main event stars. The opening minutes of the match prove them wrong as Cena and Batista immediately take control with a brutal display of power that leaves both Rhodes and DiBiase scrambling to survive. Batista throws Cody Rhodes around the ring like a rag doll, using his incredible strength to hit spine busters and power slams that shake the entire ring. John Cena focuses his attack on Ted DiBiase Jr., hitting his signature shoulder tackles and protobomb that drive DiBiase into the mat repeatedly. The chemistry between Cena and Batista surprises everyone watching because these two former rivals actually work together seamlessly. They make frequent tags and cut the ring in half, preventing Rhodes and DiBiase from making any sustained offense. Every time the younger team tries to build momentum, Cena or Batista shuts them down with devastating power moves. Randy Orton appears at ringside to cheer on his legacy teammates, and his presence changes the dynamic of the entire match. Rhodes and DiBiase suddenly fight with renewed energy, knowing their leader is watching and expecting them to retain their championships. Ted DiBiase catches John Cena with a cheap shot while the referee is distracted, and suddenly the champions are in control. They isolate Cena in their corner and take turns beating him down with quick tags and double-team moves. Cena reaches desperately for Batista, who stands in the corner with his arm extended, but Rhodes and DiBiase keep dragging Cena back to their side of the ring. The beating continues for several minutes as the crowd rallies behind Cena, chanting his name and willing him to make the hot tag to Batista. Cody Rhodes goes for his finishing move, but Cena counters at the last second and both men are down on the mat. The referee starts counting and the entire arena counts along, knowing that if Cena can just reach Batista, the match will turn completely. At the count of 8, Cena lunges forward and makes the tag, bringing Batista into the match like an explosion of violence and rage. Batista cleans house immediately, hitting clotheslines and shoulder tackles that send both Rhodes and DiBiase flying across the ring. He lifts Cody Rhodes for a Batista bomb and drives him into the mat with tremendous force. Ted DiBiase tries to make the save, but John Cena intercepts him and locks in the STF submission hold in the middle of the ring. DiBiase has no choice but to tap out as the pain becomes unbearable, and the referee calls for the bell. John Cena and Batista are the new World Tag Team Champions, and the crowd erupts in celebration. The sight of Cena and Batista holding championship gold together is surreal because these are two of the most dominant forces in WWE history standing side by side as partners. They celebrate in the ring while Randy Orton watches from the entrance ramp with fury in his eyes. Unlike the one-day reign with Shawn Michaels, this championship run actually lasts for several weeks as Cena and Batista defend their titles on multiple occasions. They face various tag teams and prove that their partnership is legitimate rather than just a one-time thing. During their reign as champions, Cena and Batista develop genuine chemistry and mutual respect. They watch each other's backs during matches and conduct interviews together where they actually seem to enjoy being tag team partners. The WWE Universe embraces them as champions because everyone loves seeing two megastars working together rather than fighting each other. Eventually they lose the championships, but the run is considered successful and proves that John Cena can thrive in the tag team division even though he's primarily a singles wrestler. The strangest chapter in John Cena's tag team championship history occurs in late 2010 when he finds himself forced to join the Nexus faction after losing a match to Wade Barrett. The entire situation is uncomfortable from the start because Nexus has spent months attacking Cena and making his life miserable on Monday Night Raw. Now Cena has to wear a Nexus armband and follow Wade Barrett's orders or else face termination from WWE. The storyline creates incredible drama because everyone knows Cena doesn't want to be part of Nexus, but he has no choice if he wants to keep his job. Wade Barrett decides to put Cena in a tag team with David Otunga to challenge for the WWE Tag Team Championship against Heath Slater and Justin Gabriel, who are also members of Nexus. The whole situation is bizarre because you have Nexus members fighting each other for championships while their leader Wade Barrett watches and manipulates everyone involved. John Cena makes it clear through his body language and facial expressions that he wants nothing to do with this match or this partnership. He walks to the ring with Otunga but refuses to acknowledge him as a partner, keeping distance between them at all times. The match begins and Cena goes through the motions without any of his usual fire and passion. He executes his moves perfectly because he's a professional who never gives less than 100%, but there's no emotion behind anything he does. David Otunga tries to work with Cena as a partner but Cena barely looks at him, treating the entire situation like a prison sentence he has to endure. Heath Slater and Justin Gabriel fight hard to retain their championships because winning would prove their value to Wade Barrett and the Nexus faction. Despite the dysfunction between Cena and Otunga, they somehow manage to win the match and capture the WWE Tag Team Championship. The referee raises their hands in victory and hands them the championship belts, but John Cena's celebration is non-existent. He holds the title belt with complete indifference while Otunga celebrates wildly beside him. Wade Barrett comes to the ring and forces Cena to raise the championship high above his head, using his power as Nexus leader to humiliate Cena even in victory. The whole scene is uncomfortable to watch because everyone knows this championship means absolutely nothing to John Cena under these circumstances. The reign as tag team champions lasts only a short time before Cena and Otunga lose the titles, bringing an end to one of the most uncomfortable partnerships in WWE history. The entire championship run serves as a plot device in the larger Nexus storyline rather than a genuine celebration of tag team wrestling. Once Cena is finally freed from Nexus and can return to being himself, he never mentions these tag team championships again because they represent a dark period in his career when he was forced to do things against his will. Looking back at all of John Cena's tag team championship victories reveals a pattern of unexpected partnerships and unique circumstances that led to championship gold. Whether he was teaming with a legend like Shawn Michaels for one glorious night, joining forces with a rival like Batista to fight a common enemy, or being forced into an unwanted partnership with David Otunga, Cena always found a way to adapt and succeed. These championships may not get mentioned when people discuss his 16 world title reigns or his matches at WrestleMania, but they are legitimate parts of his legacy that show his versatility as a performer. John Cena proved that he could win championships in any division and with any partner, cementing his status as one of the most accomplished wrestlers in history. Don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into wrestling history and the stories that shape the industry we love.